Hi, my name's Kevin and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to have a look at making some of these. This is off a machine. I've got to make 4 in total. The ones what are on the machine presently have just worn away here because they run in some sort of channel of some description. So not a hard job. The only thing is in the middle here there's a nut which these screw into. So what we're going to have to do on the 3D printer is let it print up to, say, like up to this height, and then design obviously a place for the nut to sit in, and then we'll continue the 3D printer to, so what we'll do is we'll pause it, put the nut in place, and then we'll get it to carry on printing, and then hopefully that'll work. I think it's going to work, but this is obviously it's been injection molded. You can see the injection molded parts here. So at some point, the nut is held in somehow, and then the plastic is injected around it. So obviously we can't do that on the 3D printer, but we should be able to do it, by the way I was then explaining. So we'll have a look. It's going to be drawn this way up, and then obviously the printer will print this way up as well. So we'll have to have some supports in here underneath this lip. Otherwise this is just going to fall into nowhere. So we'll have a look at that also. So we'll go across to the software and we'll start the design process. I'm going to use 123D Design by Autodesk. It's a piece of software which isn't available anymore, but it's a good piece of software, and I just don't know why they ever stopped it. And it was a free piece of software as well. But anyway, we'll now jump across to that and I'll show you. Well, here we are in 123D Design, and we're going to start to produce the part. So the grid here is like the base or the bed of our 3D printer, and so we'll build the part on top of that, and we'll start from the bottom and work our way through to the top. So the model I'm going to build in 3 parts. Because we've got the polygon in the middle where the nut is going to sit, it's going to make it easier to draw 3 separate parts and then snap them together and combine them or merge them to make one unit. So I've had a measure of the part. So what we need to do is, obviously we're going to build from the base plate or from the bottom. So we'll pick a circle. So the smaller diameter is 25.4, 1 inch. And then we can extrude that part to get the height of our bottom piece, 12.5 millimeters. Right, so there's the start of our model. So we can then come on to the top view, and we need to put the hole straight through the middle for where the screw is going to, or the machine screw is going to come into it. So, and I've had a measure of that, and that's 6.5 millimeters. Also, we need to put the polygon on the top here for the nut to sit into. The middle section, the wider part, is slightly narrower than what the nut is, so we need to just indent the nut into the top and the bottom piece by 0.5 mil. So again, we'll pick the center, and the radius of that is 5 millimeters. Right, so here we are. So if we go back to our normal view, so here we are, we've got the solid, and what we'll do now is we'll extrude the hole straight through the middle. We've got the arrow pointing up here. If I was to now type a size in here, it will continue to extrude up. So what we need to do, we need to put a negative number in to tell it to go back down. And there you can see the hole straight through the middle. And also we need to put the recess where the nut is going to sit, and that measures to about 0.5 mil or so, something like that. So that's going to be minus 0.5, and there you can see the recess there. So that piece is now ready. So rather than redrawing that part for the top, we'll just select it, Control C on the keyboard, Control V, so copy and paste, and we can now move that piece out of the way. And there are our 2 pieces. We need to orientate this one because the little nut piece here is still sitting at the top. So we select the model again, and if we just spin it around, we can pick this handle here, and it will change to degrees, and we need to flick it 180 degrees, and there you go. So those 2 parts of the model are complete. And now we need to do the wider part. So back again to circle, and we'll draw it here. Right, the widest part for that was 34.5. And again, we need to place a polygon in the middle, and 5mm for that. And then we need to extrude this to the measured size, which is 4mm. Right, so that's parts all complete. So what we need to do now is we need to join all these together. So we pick the snap tool, and we pick the underside of the widest part, and we pick the top of the base, and that will snap that straight onto the top of there. And while we're here, we'll just have a look inside and just make sure that these parts here are lining up, which they are. And then we need to do the same again. We need to pick the bottom of the top piece and the top of the piece we've already done, and there is snapped again. So we've now got all three pieces joined together. We'll just get rid of these pieces. We don't need these anymore. Right, so there's our model, all complete and ready to print. So we'll just select the whole lot, and then we'll come up here and we'll just merge all three shapes together. And that's it, done. Right, so the model's now ready to print. So we'll save the model, and which I've already saved anyway. And then we need to export the model. So when you export it, we need to export it to an STL file, which is what the 3D printer software understands. I don't change anything here because the software within the 3D printer will handle all the, you know, all the different settings and that. And we'll call it Doug's part. The guy at who the part is for is called Doug. So. And all done. So what we'll do now, we'll go across to the 3D printer and we'll start the printing process for that part. Right, here we are at the 3D printer, and we're just waiting for it to heat up, and then once it's heated up it will go through its bed leveling process, and then with a bit of luck we should start the print. Now you can see that that's printing the raft, well not the raft, but that's going to be the support structure around the outside. That will build that up at the same level as the main model. And then it's back to printing the main model again. Well, here's the part all finished printing, and as you can see on the bottom here is the support structure, which I'll peel off in a sec. That's to support this lip here, otherwise the printer would have tried to print into thin air and it would have just dropped down to the build plate. So, and you can probably see the nut inside there. So what we'll do, we'll just quickly remove this raft, or not the raft, the support structure. This just peels away. And leaves the model. So that's the job done. So I've printed 4 of those for the guy. So the job's all finished. Thanks for watching.